Órale, Cholo Trucker Mass Movies and Shows. And here we got the movie The Exorcists with an S at the end. Um, The Exorcist with an S at the end is an hour and 25 minutes long, and it came out in 2023. You can find this movie on Zumo Play, Tubi, Fandango at Home, Plex, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube, Google Play Movies and TV, and Apple TV. I went ahead, I watched it on Amazon Prime Video. Let's get to the description. Here we go. When a child is possessed by an unrelenting evil, a father hires three expert exorcists to purge the demon and save his family before it's too late. Okay. You know, well, first of all, let me go ahead and say Rotten Tomatoes has this movie at 17%. 1-7. Okay. I'm not really sure how many more movies called The Exorcist there really needs to be. There's so many out there. But when this one came across my feed, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and check out the trailer to this. Um, Went ahead and I checked it out, and it actually looked pretty damn interesting. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, let me go ahead and let me watch it. Look, I'll tell you guys this, man. Um, It had me hooked in the beginning. It really did. And not just the beginning, but the mid part of the movie. It 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 did its job. It really did. It did its job to keep me engaged and keep me hooked and keep me interested in the story. Um, this movie takes place in Pasadena, City of Roses, right? The city that hosts the Rose Parade for New Year's. Um, and I was really intrigued. I'm like, okay, you got the doctor, you got two Catholic priests, you got a Baptist. They go to the I don't know, this chapel is I'm not even really sure, man. I will say this. I'm not into nuns, but the lady that played the nun, I've seen her in something else. I don't know what it was. Hey man, I don't know. She was looking pretty damn good, homie. She was looking pretty good. I liked her. Anyway, I know I've seen her in something else. I don't know what it is. But anyway, it did a good enough job. Nothing special there, but just enough to keep me intrigued. And then the final, there's like two stories going on, right? You got the story of them trying to battle this demon that that is in this young girl, right? You got that story, and then you got another story of teenagers playing with, I would assume, is a Ouija board. And you try to make the correlation. You're like, oh, is that supposed to be them when they're young? Like, is it showing how she got possessed? That's what you're thinking, right? And it's like, okay, cool. So it's showing the story on how she got possessed. So it's kind of two stories in one that you're catching on to. And then you start making a little bit of connections like, oh, is that supposed to be this person? Is that supposed to be that person? Like, you're not even really sure. And then where does the doctor fit in all this? Why did the demon ask for the doctor? Things like that, where you're just kind of like, okay, I'm intrigued enough where I want to see what happens. But then the final, I don't know, 25 minutes, 20 minutes of the movie, I'd say 25, happens. And that is when the movie just falls apart. That is when you knew going in that this movie did not have a high budget, and it was fine. It was working. It was working just fine. But then the last 25 minutes of the movie happened. And then you're like, yeah, this movie sucks. It was, I'm not going to say it was good, but it was definitely interesting enough until that. until things get a little bit too sloppy, things get a little bit too cheesy, things get a little bit too just I just in your face, just kind of like bad acting. It's all in your face of like, hey, you know what? We're not even really trying anymore. We're just trying to fill in time to just say that it's a movie. And it's like, wait a second. Had you guys carried this movie the way you were carrying the first hour, it actually would have worked. It would have worked. But because you guys decided to go with this clown show, and then the way you start making little heroes here, it's like, and then the way you connected both of the stories, and everybody's just kind of running around, and it's like, no, 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 no. That it didn't work. It was a pretty decent flight, but it was a crash landing. And at the very end of the movie, right, like just the way the movie ended, it was just like, good gosh, that was horrible. That was terrible. You pretty much forget that the movie was actually pretty decent, how engaged you were once the credits start rolling up, and it doesn't even close the story on everybody that was involved. So it's not even satisfying. Look, I'm not going to recommend this movie. Like I said, it was a decent flight, really didn't have any problems, but it was a horrible crash landing, and that ruined it. That is The Exorcist with an S at the end. Total Trucker Monster Movies and Shows. Catch you guys on next one.